Hey folks, welcome to Talkin' Pit.
I've got a big old bowl of turkey pie over here.
Ooh, Ellis.
I made it. You can make it yourself too.
Oh, I gotta get that cream of spinach recipe from you. I was gonna do it when I could like pay attention to things, and I think I can shortly.
Yeah, it's very easy for what it's worth.
Yeah.
The first secret is used half spinach, half cabbage.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was so good. Beef.
I want to jump in it because we got a time limit here, right?
I need to be elsewhere at like 9, so yeah, let's get that hour going.
All right.
Yeah. Do you wanna crack in so you can take full?
Yeah, sure.
full
Let's
marks?
go.
All right.
All Doc.
Doc, you're up.
Hey, so I've been playing Darkest Dungeon 2 relentlessly for the last like 3 weeks, and the only time that I wasn't was, well, more or less when I was at MagFest. I've been playing Darkest Dungeon 2 basically every single night for the past 3 weeks. I love this game. Very tragically, the narrator just died today, as far as I'm aware.
I heard about that.
So I guess is an interesting send-off for that as well. Darkest Dungeon 2 is everything I like about Darkest Dungeon 1. And none of the things I don't like about Darkest Dungeon 1, which is most of it. I am a Darkest Dungeon 1 active disliker in practice. I do not enjoy the overall playthrough of that game. Instead, however, they made a game completely unlike it in most respects that I adore. It's kind of Oregon Trail from Hell in a good way. It's a run-based game instead, or at least it was exclusively a run-based game up until about like 4 days ago, when it also got a full extra game mode on it that was added to it that basically turns it into a much longer campaign as well. It's an entire second game, basically. So here we go. This is Darkest Dungeon 2's combat screen and all of that. You got to do some fights, obviously. That's what the game's about. And it's very similar to 1, but also every individual fight is much more complicated and overall more interesting. Part of that being that every individual hero that you have is been updated to be much more versatile than they were in 1. As part of this, you also cannot bring multiples of the same hero. So you have to have a team of 4 different ones. You have 5 moves instead of 4. You have a selection of out of 5 out of 9, except for this guy who has a selection of 8, functionally 9 out of, well, his number of moves. Yeah. Sorry, not out of 9. It's out of 11. 5 out of 11.
What is curmudgeon?
That's individual character quirks. My plague doctor here is funny because she has Peacemaker, which is a better chance of positive relationships to happen and a lower chance of negative relationships to happen. And then curmudgeon, which is the exact opposite of that.
Like a cute Scrooge.
Yeah. It ends up being net minus 5% on both, which is still, in the end, a net positive.
Nice.
Honestly, that's kind of the best of both worlds, right?
Mm-hmm. This guy was just added in a few days ago. He's a DLC character. You can pay for him if you want. He's a very complex character in general.
Did his appearance just stress out the rest of the cast?
Yes.
Oh.
That's my occultist. He's cool. Once we get to the inn, there's a lot more things to talk about. This is a basic fight.
I'm really, smitten with how they've adapted the visuals from Darkest Dungeon 1 into this new 3D scape.
Absolutely. This game's gorgeous. It both has it's an excellent emulation of the 2D art style of Darkest Dungeon 1 in a 3D form. Without ever looking like it's, it stands out. Unless you bring up a character and then whoa. You actually get to look at the full model. But I mean, even that, it still looks good, all things considered.
I want to see
The
one
art
with
style-
no textures because I feel like they're doing a lot with the shadows in that, and like, but how much though? Anyway, I won't gush about that the whole time. Sorry.
No, I mean, that's fine. The game is gorgeous. I'm not surprised.
Why this guy's having a seat?
The smallest variable
Yeah.
can make all the difference.
I think it's good that they died.
Cut down these nightmares.
So the very first encounter is always a very simple one at the start of the game that gives you a little bit of an upgrade material for the rest of the run. Individual runs of this game are around 2 to 4 hours long, depending on what you do and how long it takes you to do things.
Is that like the normal run mode or the extended run mode?
Oh, the normal run mode. Kingdoms mode, I have no idea how long it is. I've not really played it too actively yet.
Oh.
Yeah. I've got a bunch of stuff in here because of, well, I just have a bunch of stuff prepared because I've beaten this game pretty extensively at this point. And once you do that, you can kind of spend a lot of your candles, which are the like meta game progression currency, to get stuff in starting runs. For example,
Planning and
the inns here are where you basically prepare for the rest of the run. You get to select your route. These different areas have like significantly different approaches, dangers, and all of that, and you want to probably attach the ones that, you know, you can deal with better. For example, the shroud over here is the most bleed heavy area, so if your team is not particularly resistant to bleed, you might want to avoid it. Whereas the tangle over here is more about stressing the team out and things like that. So if you can handle stress a little bit easier, that's preferable too.
Learn what can be taught.
You can upgrade each character with mastery for a run, where the move becomes better for that run, basically. You get to upgrade each one once. The provisioner here is where you
Spend what you can.
spend to get relationship boosters or similar like advantages over the course of the run as well. You're basically constantly building up advantages to go through the run, is the long and short of it. I actually have the Almanac to the Shroud here, which means I would be better in the Shroud, and I do have that as an option, so let's go for it.
Now, is this a game where you're gonna like really need to press every single advantage you have, or is it okay to kind of
Absolutely.
poke around in bad zones? Oh, okay.
Darkest Dungeon 2, like the first game, will kick your ass relentlessly if you're not prepared or not doing things like reasonably. Now, with that said, it's slightly more deterministic of a game in general. Unless you have things modifying your ability to hit, you can always hit something. For example, there's no roll to hit unless your character is blind or an enemy has a dodge or something like that, you know?
I like
So
that.
you can prepare, be a little bit more prepared and deterministic on things than you could in the first game. I also get an option of like various things I can do to... I can get a pet. I'm probably going to do that real quick. I'm also have the option to activate hard mode by grabbing one of these like infernal flames, or I can activate slightly easier mode over here, which the more times you lose a run, the more upgraded this gets. So you can actually compound like advantage if you are having trouble with a particular boss, basically as a particular confession.
Remember that.
For the purposes of this, I'm just going to go and get the advantage, even though it's a minor one at the moment. Just plus 5% relationship chance, 5% crit, and 25% flame drain. And let's start to get this going. Does anyone have a negative trait I want to remove?
If you
Curmudgeon.
fail at a run and you get the upgrade to this light, since it looked like you had a few different ones in your inventory, like how does upgrading that work? Does it upgrade the item in your inventory? Do you have to like combine them?
Oh, no, it just is going to be stronger the next time you start a run. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Unfortunately, I grabbed an item that has a 100% chance to remove a negative trait, but only a 25% chance to also remove a positive trait. And of course, like always, I rolled both. So my Plague Doctor went from a peacemaking curmudgeon to a blank slate with no upsides or downsides.
Interesting.
Let me see here. Let's see if we can't get something funny to happen. Excellent. That's fine. You're vicious, which means you don't like songs. And you are also vicious. I see. That was just a +2 between two characters. That was a mistake, and I shouldn't have done it. That was an oversight of my own.
A bit of comfort on the road to damnation.
Think we can get away with not having food, I guess. That's fine.
No dinner for Bigby.
Mm-hmm. And that's a negative trait I actually don't want to remove if I can help it. So let's see if I can't. Yeah, I removed Coward off of you. Congratulations. You're extremely good now. And now let's get the mastery, the last thing that we need before we move on, and let's get going.
Is that positive trait Cosmic Hater on Bigby?
Oh yeah, he also has Cosmic Slayer. So against cosmic enemies, he's amazing.
That's me
This guy
someday. I wanna be
wants
a
to kill
Cosmic
God.
Hater.
Absolutely.
Hates and knows how.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And wait. No, I'll ask that question later.
Okay, let's get going. The first in actually significantly reduces the chances of you getting a positive or negative relationship, specifically because if you get a -1 really early on, that could ruin things. So here's when we get into the actual meat of the game, which is the Oregon Trail part of the game here. I didn't grab a pet. That was a mistake. Whoops.
I'm
That's
sure
fine.
you'll survive. If only barely.
You have your options here of wiggling around and going through different routes of the map here. And there are different, encounters that you can get into. For example, this one's just a fight, so that's going to be guaranteed. There's the academic study, which has a number of different rewards depending on which particular one it is. You can see that's a vintage collection. The lair over here is a boss fight per region. There's always one boss fight in every region. And what are you talking about? What am I talking about? The boss fight is is optional until you are in the region where you can go to the mountain, which is the final region of the game. You do have to fight one boss over the course of your run at some point to be able to beat it. It's required. In this case, I really don't like doing the boss fight of this area unless I have a specific setup, so I'm unlikely to go fight him. But that's okay.
And that's not going to set you back for later in the run?
I mean, I don't get as many rewards, but that's about it.
Nice.
Oh, that's an unfortunate result. Al over here is my occultist. The occultist has is a very versatile unit, for example, who can... he has an emergency heal, he's got some debuffs, he has some damage over time effects and all of that. That's not what this particular version of the occultist is about. This particular version of the occultist is about casting the burning stars and doing 1 million damage at all times. So each character has, not only do they have the many skills, but they also have subclasses which can change how their skills work. As you can see here, affected skills, these ones, Demon's Pull, Abyss Artillery, and Burning Stars. Example. My Hellion over here will never die because she has, she's the Carcass, which is absurdly tanky. I have the Surgeon Plague Doctor over here, who is both slightly tougher than the typical Plague Doctor, and also is better at healing, but doesn't do damage over times as well. And then for the Abomination, I just had him as the default because it's very straightforward, or as straightforward as being able to do this gets. I'm not going to use this move out of concerns for emetophobia, folks who are uncomfortable around vomit, because it's gross.
Oh, now I want to see it. Did you just change the order of the opposing lineup?
I did, yes. That is an important part of the combat of this game, is making sure that you can handle every part of their team. One of the ways you can do that is by, wiggling them around.
Now, is it your usual, things that are farther away take less damage?
No, actually. You can only target specific ranks. For example, this right here can only be used in the first, second, or third rank, so that's from the right. And it can only target the first and second of the enemy ranks. This particular enemy is large and takes up 2 ranks, so I can only hit him with it, is the idea.
Oh.
Why do I have the Eminence of Prevention equipped? That's a mistake. I should get rid of that.
Who needs prevention when you have cures?
Steady your
Oh my. Please get over it a little bit. That stress, when stress maxes out, it is usually a bad thing, although there are occasions when it can be a good thing. There is a 20% chance for a character to go instead, I can handle this, and they actually get healed and buffed again upon going resolute, as they call it. Or there's the 80% chance of instead they melt down and everyone hates it.
Ooh.
And is bad for them as well. In the case of one character, they instead go toxic, and that's completely different. Now, with that said, aside from getting into boss fights and stuff, you've more or less seen a lot of Darkest Dungeon 2. The encounter design is on the whole very good in this game. The art design is gorgeous, the music is fine, and the narrator is, of course, just like in Darkest Dungeon 1, very iconic, and, well, rest in peace.
And that big guy just doesn't want to go down, does he?
Oh, he's down now. There's a mechanic called Death Armor, which is an enemy has to be hit a number of times beyond their getting down to 0 health for them to actually fully die. Not every enemy has this. For example, this guy right here doesn't have it, and thus dies when you get to 0. That enemy had, I think, 2 Death Armor, which means that they had to be hit another number of times before they would actually die. This is deterministic. This is not random. When the game launched, this was a random effect, and everyone disliked it justifiably. On the player and your heroes, it is a random effect based off of your death blow resist. Basically, if my character were to go down to 0 health, and they have to specifically go to 0 health first, and then they got hit, then in this case, there would be an 86% chance for my hero to survive. And then they would get, I think it's a minus 15% penalty on this. And then the dice would keep on rolling until it reaches 33%, and so on and so forth. Once it's 33%, that's the absolute minimum that it can roll to.
Dang.
Yeah, so you have some decent things in your favor on that front, yeah?
Yeah.
So it sounds like the devs are pretty responsive to the player base. That's awesome.
Yes, which is... in this case, they're also responsive basically to the entire player base, because Red Hook games, from my experience with Darkest Dungeon 1, they were not responsive to the entire player base. They had the classic, we only listen to the smallest handful of people who are playing the game forever kind of problem.
The we balance this game about the most incestuous play styles possible, and so it became weird.
Yes, for 1. That happened with 1. That did not happen with 2, and I am so glad for it.
I am so glad that they have learned. Oh my goodness.
Yes. Anyway, that's Darkest Dungeon 2. Like I said, I've been playing this game for so long for the last 3 weeks. I straight up have had... Yeah, I have played about 80 hours of it in 3 weeks, and that's with also doing stuff on the regular stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
It has consumed a lot of my free time.
Hell yeah. It honestly, I went into this thinking about Darkest Dungeon 1 and all the stuff I've seen in it, and it really looks like they have made a different game here.
It is a very different game. They, in fact, actively went out of their way to make Darkest Dungeon 2 to be a different game because 1 already exists. And if you like 1, just go play 1.
Yeah. That makes
Excellent.
sense.
I'm sorry for taking up so much time, but I wanted to get through as much as I could in 20 minutes,
Oh, you're good.
which
Wait.
is 2 fights.
And you absolutely shredded them.
Yeah.
Wobbly, you're up. What's this?
All right, so somebody mentioned this after the last time I was on Talkin' Pit, and they were like, "Surprised you didn't talk about a Beastie Ball." So now I gotta talk about Beastie Ball. This game is a creature collect 'em up. Right here, I've got some like tier 3 folks. Like this is a reasonably powerful party going on. I just want to talk about this game. I am not a Pokemon person. I am not a person who like looks at a cute dog and is just like, oh hey, we gotta play this game because it's got like a cute dog guy in it. This game has a lot of really interesting mechanisms going on, and it's also got some placeholder art, as you can see by the fella in the front there.
Yeah,
So
like you have one guy who's following you who has actual animated movement, and then the others are just all stock images.
Yeah, well, just the one is like kind of stuck, but they're adding more. They're doing a really good job. They're balancing more stuff, and I guess I'm just gonna dive right in because I got attacked by somebody's like player group.
Your
so this game,
kangaroo rat like parrot over there looks like a pervert, and I hate them, but like in a positive way.
So hang on, if I pull him up here, we can take a look at a bunch of his attack things here. We have an ability called Nettle, in which he just shit talks, frankly. He has Sneak Attack, and when he does it, he shifts himself to the front row, which I'll explain that here in a second. And he's got Zinger, which when you attack, the target feels too tender, which halves their defense, so you can soften them up. You always have access to this move called Free Ball, but you never want to do it because it is a bad idea. This is a game that also is a very sort of deterministic RPG. If I go back a little bit and I hit shift, we can actually take a look at our opponent's stats. They've got strength, cardio, and like mind stuff. So you can see that this Alanis up here is very like mind and blue oriented in both defense and offense. You can see that their partner Biff over here is very physical, high cardio. And same for the big jelly bat in the background. Look, they got like a little one on them. That's cute. But you can go deeper. You can actually look and see every option that they have available to them. Like Roll Shot, which we can see targets the back row and comes in sideways. Sneak Attack, which also shifts them to the front. And they've got a defensive bonus that makes them tough and makes them a little angry at you, which gives them various buffs. This character has Grit, which causes poison, but doubles... Oh no, it doubles their attack when they're sweaty. That's wild. I haven't seen that yet. Okay. Dig, which gives them the jazzed buff, which is like being in the front row. Stinky, which the target feels shook, but it is a defensive option, so we would have to be hitting them, or they would have to steal the ball in some way. So we know to avoid them for this. So we're going to go ahead and sneak attack ourselves up into the front. And this is where the game sort of plays itself for a moment while the opponent makes some decisions. Defensive options, they can call things in. Yeah, they called in Shook, so now we are nervous up in the front. And we can take a look at their moves again.
Around a big stinky buff rat, I'd also be pretty shook if I'm being honest.
Yeah, frankly, a lot of this particular mon is just kind of a guy. Grit is gonna be real nasty if they hit us up in that front row. I might actually drop back. Yeah, I am in fact... Actually, no. I'm gonna block him specifically, because that's probably gonna be his move. I think I may have moved it. So, what you're looking to do in this game, since it's sort of a 2v2 RPG, is you are looking to either overcome your opponent's stamina, which is always normalized to 100, or you are trying to strike a part of the field that nobody is occupying at any given time.
Like in volleyball, the game that this is.
Yes, very much so. So we've got a few options here. Bandicoot here has a bunch of supporting actions that we can do. We can use Demanding Set, which will apply like a bunch of buffs, but also sort of like tire our guy out. a bunch, so we're actually going to go ahead and do that. So we got to volley the ball to get it under our team's control. And then we're going to run Demanding Set, which is going to buff our guy here. And, right, he's shook. He can't do anything. I goofed it. Oops.
I think you might be about to throw your ball out. Okay, free ball is an option still.
Yeah. I forgot about Stinky. That's Stinky.
You can't forget about stinky rats. You just can't do it. It's gonna mess you up. They'll kill you.
He will, in fact. We're gonna swap out for Thrillipede here real quick. They're gonna get Jazz, get to the front, do a bunch of damage. God, I hope Thrillipede can eat this one. Oh, just barely. All right, let's see what we got here. Tired, only basic action, so we're just gonna have to volley this back and forth. Volley, volley. So going into this is effectively a trainer battle also. This is a tough fight. And
yeah,
I guess
can tell, given you've been taking like 80% of your character's stamina in single hits here.
Yeah. He's almost cooked though. We just knocked him down to 20%, but we're gonna have to
2%.
tag out again. Actually, wait, no, we'll use shield. Because he's either gonna hit Bandicraft in the back, who can probably take the shot, or shield should let us soak this damage. Shield is an ability that makes it so that you cannot be knocked down with an attack unless you have exactly 1 health. So that is the only reason we survived it. We can pop over here. Plus defense to ourself. Yeah, we're probably going to need to do that. They are almost certainly going to tag out. Actually, wait a minute. Are you still stinky, buddy? Yeah, you're still stinky. Okay.
Always stinky.
Thrillipede being stinky has mired my plans a bit. Oh, he's about to eat dirt, though. Got him. So, let's talk a little bit about where this team came from and why they are so tough. There are odds that this is a player's team. The way that multiplayer works in this game is less a direct challenge most of the time. You can do that. You can play online matches. But it is also... they're going to swap out, and I can hit this guy in the back really hard. But you register a team for your multiplayer matches, and they get placed out in the world somewhere, where they become a menace. We're actually going to use... Wait, shield doesn't work when you only have 1. Oh no, I goofed. I'm thinking about different
about
things.
To die. It's going to be dead, and they're going to lose their job, and they will no longer have any...
Oops.
Any way to go.
You goofed it. But this very well could be somebody's like custom team of beasties that they just have sort of roaming around the forest looking for fights.
Yeah, so it's asynchronous multiplayer on that front, basically.
Yeah. You also get XP for participating in it. Your team will come back and you will get a bunch of points.
They've basically made the pawn system from Dragon's Dogma, but made it PvP instead of PvE.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, that rules so much.
It's a really good idea, yeah.
We're going to pop Set, which is going to jazz our ally, which gives us the offensive bonus equivalent to moving
Being
to
in
the front row.
like I said, right? Yeah.
With none of the defensive like drawbacks.
Yeah.
We're also going to use Mindfield, which damages both opponents equally. So we're going to aim for this guy who's over here in the front, because they're worried about a sideways shot, and I should knock down the jelly bat at the same time, unless they shift backwards. Oh, or block. You stinker. Oh, no, got him. So now they've got 2 down fellas, and as long as I can eat this next attack, which I've got a nice block for that handy, we should be good. I'm having to do so much puzzling that I didn't anticipate because the first thing that happened was we got rushed by a dude. Let's see if we can just blast this one into the guy who's got 0 stamina left. Oh no, Biff is back! We got problems.
So your dudes just completely recover?
Yeah, if you spend enough turns in the backfield, he's got 7 rounds that he has to complete. They will recover, but they come back with a damage over time effect. But only if they get knocked down. I pulled out Garud here early, so he is not going to benefit from that kind of recovery. Great. You know what? Let's bring out Bird Gun. It's time.
Is the
Actually,
bird
no.
also a gun?
sorry,
Is
bird
that
gun.
the idea?
Bird Gun. Yeah, so it's less that they are a gun, it's more that I have selectively bred this bird to be a gun.
I see.
I have trained them in the fine art of orbital blasts.
So they're your ace. They're the one who will slap that ball back, no problem. So who's your main setter? The one who, throws the ball to them.
Bandicraft, pretty typically. That's why they have the sweaty set. So we're going to net rush, which is going to push this bird to the front. We are going to demanding set, which is going to give us an incredible boost to damage. And we are going to use Bring the Heat, an attack that does 307 damage directly to the bird in front of us.
I
This
see.
match
That bird is
over,
dead.
Is that
sir.
good?
No! They had shield! I'm a fool! They are barely hanging on. All right. We also have shield here, which we're gonna need to use. Hopefully they try to go through the bird. Turnabout is fair play here.
Oh,
Right.
that only did 20 anyway. So you were actually probably fine.
The shield gives you a defensive buff as well as the resistance. So I don't know if I would have been fine, but like we did survive. Oops, not auto mode. Hang on, I want to look at the field. Both of my fellows are tired. Only
So is auto
basic
mode-
actions, only attacks.
Is auto mode an intelligent like auto battler, or do you like assign it like an order of operations, and then it does that in fights, or rather in
Gonna be
matches?
real with you?
These aren't fights, obviously.
I've never tried it.
Okay. Interesting.
We're gonna try to freeball the bird because it is our only hope at this current juncture.
I mean, it just needs 1 damage, right?
Just needs 1.
Stinky.
Yes! Oh my goodness, the ups, the downs. That was, I don't think I could have asked for a better round to show this
That
off
was
to
quite
everybody.
complex. Yeah.
Goodness gracious. So yeah, that was the like encounter / combat system. Oh wait, hang on. Why are you
The sports
sweating?
system. This is sports.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Hang on. Why are you sweaty, buddy?
I think they're
Okay,
sweaty
you're just-
because they just did volleyball, which is a very, very active sport.
They got knocked
That's
down. That's why they're sweaty. I should mention that there's a couple of reasons that can happen. Much like your Pokemons and other things like it, this is a game where your guys can sort of evolve and grow and become different little guys. But you have to help them work through it in like a meaningful way. Your guys will go into fights for a while, just taking damage over time passively. And you have to level them up sort of through that struggle. Oh, Daradillo got bopped.
They got completely just blasted, huh?
Oh yeah, no, they got nuked. I also like that they don't tell you if your team won or lost in the away games.
You can just get a grasp on it, like if your away games come back and they're all at full, then you know that they kind of stopped someone.
Yeah, I sent out the nuclear bird like second from the back in the line there one time, and I actually encountered them myself with a different party.
Ooh.
That is a thing that can happen. You can travel to areas where you found your team members, because if they're not on your active team and touring with you, they will simply go home. So if you're like leveling up a second team, you can find your first stringers out in the wild and challenge them. And dear God, some of the things that you can do to other players is wild.
Beyond the sports there and the away team function. Is there anything like else that's particularly interesting about Beastie Ball aside from it has like, you know, a soundtrack by Lena Raine, other good stuff on that front. Obviously the art's very good.
There's some like fun environmental puzzles. There's like some like light Zelda-like things that are present to it, but a whole lot of it does come from sort of the charm of the world, which is probably the note that I can leave off on a little bit here, because I have asked Smite to queue up one piece of soundtrack, which is the primary antagonist's theme.
You can do that, yeah.
And also, just if you're familiar at all with Chicory, this is the same team.
I feel like claiming to be the sports king is awfully presumptuous.
He is, in fact, the sports king.
He
is the guy who runs the Beastie Ball League, and he is looking to make a sports anime out of your life.
Yeah, Beastie Ball seems neat.
It is so much fun. I lost myself to this like several weeks ago, and I would love to be able to talk Beasties with some people.
Look at that hammer crab.
Where's he at?
Center.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you mean the Crabberay?
Yes.
He's got a little vaudeville top hat and cane. Oh, I should show this off real quick. When you have fully researched a little guy by seeing him enough, you get their concept art.
Oh, that rules so much.
Oh, wait, hang on. Do I have more pages of that? How do I... Yeah, there we go.
Oh, and as you can see, you can also customize their palette.
Yes. There's also some like weird meme builds that I didn't get to show off. Most recently in the story, I played against somebody, like an NPC, and their whole thing was like delay, stuns, and slows. And they just drug the fight out as like a plot bit, and it was incredibly funny and frustrating in like a good way. But yeah, if you're looking for like a cute collect 'em up with like a lot of like very charming little guys and an absolute banger soundtrack, this is definitely one to be watching, to like get into. And also, my sort of community tag is Wobbleague if you want to specifically fight against like my Twitch stream community's beasties.
All right. I like that hammer hat, though.
He's a real nasty little fella to run into out there too.
Well, my
So who's
game
next?
is
All right.
Animal Well.
Oh
which
yeah, Animal
Hell
Well.
yeah.
This is a
I wanted to hear about this.
this is an interesting game. It
Wobbly,
was like
have you not
a
played this yet?
No, I've had people recommend it.
I haven't gotten
Animal
too
Well-
far yet, but I'm into it because it reminds me of Environmental Station Alpha in a lot of ways.
yeah.
Yeah.
Animal Well kind of like actively made its thing, sort of being kind of like it's a Metroidvania that plays like an ARG, if you know what I mean, right?
I'm just running through the first 10 minutes-ish of this game. It's the opener up here. But there are a lot of cute little animals that, as far as I can tell, are just there to be cute in the background of this game. There's a couple that aren't, like a giant awful chameleon that spits blood out of its eyes at you.
Yeah, well that's what, you know, what
That's what they do.
giant that's what Gila monsters do anyway.
Yeah.
Chameleons don't.
It made me think about how a giant animal, probably a chameleon, would be one of the most dangerous ones to deal with. Like a cat, a giant cat would be pretty bad, but I don't know if I could get away from a big frog.
Well, a frog will eat anything that's smaller than it. This is
Yeah.
also true of cats, actually.
There is a,
It's honestly true of a lot of animals.
it's a dinosaur planet on the Apple Store. It was pretty good, but there is a frog named Diabolos that was eating raptors on that show. He just popped out, ate his month's worth of raptor, and then disappeared.
Seems smart to me. I basically do that when I'm eating chickens, so I mean, what do you want me to do?
It's
So-
basically
Exactly the same
huh?
thing. Yeah,
There's
the
a
theropods.
ton of things interacting with you while you're running around.
Yeah, that's one of the
Yeah.
things that reminds me with the ESA. The vines, we're about to see a bunch of that. Vines. I need to push these 3 buttons to open this gate.
You're kind of like a cute little rock guy, huh? Are you like explicitly a non-animal in the zone of animals?
I haven't gotten to a point where I'm not a cute little rock guy, so maybe that changes. But here's some fireworks, and one of the things I like about this game out the gate is that it comes with some serious flashing, and I have disabled it because there's an option for it on these fireworks. As well as some other things, I assume. But this is like your first primary weapon. That ghost that ate me, turns out he just doesn't like fireworks.
Oh.
There he is. He really doesn't like it. You don't even have to get near him with it. Firework
Well, I mean,
exists, he leave.
He turns into, he's got a smiley face after you do it. He actually really likes them. He leaves you alone afterwards.
Oh.
I feel like that interaction may be important to contextualize. You have like this little rondel of light near you, and I keep seeing it glint off of things in the background, like waterfalls and stuff. And I'm getting really like lost in just looking at it.
This is very much one of those games that it goes for a deliberately low resolution sort of look, but at the same time really pumps on as many visual effects as it can without being overbearing in that low resolution. So it ends up looking really complex and interesting looking, despite
So sharp.
the fact that a lot of this is just blocks, you know?
I was trying to do a thing that I could have sworn was a feature, but I didn't get it here. Maybe you get it later. You can mark the map. I'm pretty sure you can, but I couldn't get it here.
You get it like a big crayon.
I feel like you can. I've only seen that a couple times, and I really like that feature in Metroidvanias. But maybe I'm wrong. Might be misremembering. Anyway, there's a unlit candle down there that we'll have to come back to. And this being a Metroidvania, there's a whole lot of directions already where you can go, but you will find some limitations pretty quickly until you find the cool stuff.
I have heard though that there is a lot of there's an enormous amount of sequence breaking in this game, and also hidden stuff that is hidden to a ridiculous degree, which that's also like ESA, right?
Yeah.
Like there's some wildly hidden things in it.
Yeah, both of those are true.
I had 150 people on stream cracking the code of the ESA ending. It took us hours.
Nice.
Just a coordinated, let's all spoil this together effort of all I did was steer, and they did the solving. I found a match, and I immediately went to see, and I don't think I actually, either I don't remember or couldn't figure out what this does other than lights this. It's not like the ghost comes back. So I don't know if this would have made him happy. Maybe you need to light them all or something.
Perhaps. You said that there was another candle somewhere around, right?
I've only seen that one in this, but I'm out of matches too, so that's another problem.
Fair enough.
1-to-1. As a guy staring down the barrel of a group play of Hexen, I'm kind of ready for an obtuse switch puzzle.
There was a chameleon statue in that screen. It makes me wonder if that's like the Ridley and the big boss statue fellas. In
Oh
Metroid.
yeah, like Museum in
Yeah.
Super Metroid. Yeah.
So there's animal statues all over the place here.
Yeah.
Is there meaning, or is it just cool art?
I don't know of any meaning at the moment.
Yeah, Smite's just getting into this like right now, from what I understand, from what it sounded like.
I'm a couple more hours in than this. I just thought it would be a good idea to not spoil too much of the mid-game. I ended this with one of my favorite things that I've seen so far. I got to it much faster, obviously, on my second run here. Duck. Anyway, there is a cool item coming up.
This game has immediately got me kind of like tunic brained about it. There's just so many things where like there's no way that they just added that for nothing, right?
That right there, there's a problem with... There's two switches and I can't hit them both at the same time. One of them I can't even reach. So that's the problem we're going to need to solve. That we will solve in
that's
this
a guy.
video. Yeah, that's the big boy.
Oh,
Just don't mess with him. These are also enemies. They really don't like fireworks.
These hedgehogs. It is kind of funny to have a game where like a lot of the normal enemies are just regular animals.
I can't remember if this guy actually bites you or if he just wants to help you be platformed, because he certainly is necessary for jumping on.
Kind of a poochie over there. Whom stain't stupid.
I gotta solve this puzzle, and I failed a couple times. Yeah.
Are we sure Poochie's not stupid?
Let's give it a reboot.
I mean, this is just some rat.
Also, I don't think I figured out what this even does. I'd solved the puzzle, but I didn't notice anything, and I just left the room. But that's fine. We got important items to find here. I'd opened this door, and then over here, there was just a snack, and I didn't see anything relevant.
Delicious.
Fruit.
The fruit just gives you a heart back. And it's everywhere. Like, there's one on screen right now.
Wait, what?
It's up top left. So I don't know what that room was
Oh.
about.
It's like a big peach. A Momotaro-looking peach.
Getting bit by hedgehogs.
Every day of my life, man.
Famously dangerous animal.
Are you aware that there was actually a time in history where there was an attempt to domesticate the hedgehog, that unfortunately the domesticated hedgehog went extinct after the fact?
That's no good. I didn't know about this.
It was, in fact, I believe the ancient Greeks did it, funnily enough.
Hedgehogs in Hell puzzle. Oh.
He did it twice. Smite, you dropped that hedgehog. You phased it through the wall.
He's a stubborn little guy. I want to hit that button big time. Alright, door is open.
There you go. Okay, that's pretty immediately satisfying.
It hit one of the
Visually-
two lights, and so the other button is on screen up there left, so I need to solve this puzzle now.
Visually, this game reminds me a lot, in its own sort of way, of game called Brogue, if you've ever heard of it. Brogue is generally agreed upon to be the nicest looking ASCII game ever made. So it is a fully ASCII video game that is gorgeous. Excellent use of color in general, among other things.
This might be like a weird pull, but I'm kind of getting Wuppo vibes.
And we all know Wuppo.
Yeah, everybody's watched Wuppo. Anybody who's anybody knows Wuppo. I Wuppo, you Wuppo, he, she, me Wuppo. Stuff. Oh,
Ah, it's spooky in here. It's no longer spooky in here.
Not 100% sure what's going on with this boss fella here, but I feel like this is the kind of game where you could get confused in for a little while. I did figure out how to not be dead, so there's that. He eats this grass instead of me usually.
usually.
Yeah.
That's comforting.
I need to somehow get across and hit that button without getting chomped up. And I missed my freaking ride. He will eat that little fella too, but he'll spit him out. Eventually.
This little boss fight here or something is more of a platforming challenge than anything else, huh?
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a better way to do this than just being good at dodging. But this is what I did here, at least.
That seems to work just fine.
Have you tricked him into eating a firecracker yet?
I can't remember what... I'm out of them at the moment, so I couldn't do that. But here is the item I wanted to show off. I've never seen in a Metroidvania before, ever in my life. The slink.
What?
To help me
It's a
push
slinky.
2 buttons at once.
Oh my.
We slinked it.
Oh.
You just have access to slinking it at any time now?
Yeah, you can slink anytime you want it. It goes downstairs, or it does nothing if it's not going downstairs. And with
I believe
slink,
Slinky is a brand name, so they couldn't call it that, obviously.
and
This
with
is
slink,
just a
that's
slink.
it for animal. Well,
Slink, slink, slunk.
looking forward to getting deeper than probably 5% of the game or less that I currently am in after a couple hours.
All
I
right,
have heard that
seems
Animal
pretty
Well goes
charming.
very deep. Yeah,
goes
it
so
is an
deep.
extremely large game.
Tinahacks, I got your
All
video
right.
here.
Hey, so like everybody knew what game I was going to talk about, right? Like there can't really be that
Teacher,
much question about
teacher,
it.
I'm raising my hand.
Yeah.
I saw that said Final Fantasy 3, but your Tinahacks feature says Final Fantasy 6.
Mhm,
So what the
That's
fuck?
true. Yeah, it's because I'm lying to you.
What's the deal
Oh.
with Final Fantasy and then it just has a number at the end that's clearly not the final one?
I know it's weird, right? Like you would think that they would just have a last one, and they're not doing that. I guess
Mhm.
14's the last one, really. If you think about it, 14 is the Final Fantasy.
But there's 2 more beyond it.
No,
Okay.
but more. So this isn't just. I mean, I'm going to talk about indie hit Final Fantasy VI. This undiscovered gem that I think everybody should be playing. But more importantly, if you hear my voice, I want you to speedrun this game. Relatively soon, there's going to be a tutorial that I'm working on coming out,
Ooh.
and anybody can take this game and make it do just wild stuff. It's a lot of fun. So this is my plea to you. Everybody knows, haha, funny Kefka man, he's a clown, and he says, son of a submariner. I'm not going to make you watch any of that. I'm going to just keep it to the stuff that everybody, wants to see. At least for this part. I want you to speedrun this game. This game is truly a marvel. It is so good at not crashing when it should crash.
Did you Phoenix down a train?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, but everyone's done that.
I had never done that.
It's a dead train. He hates
that's right. It's the Phantom Train. It's undead. You
It's
can Phoenix
Ghost.
down it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Ghost.
What happens when you make the Reaper train be alive again?
Well, apparently he
This has
stops and
cosmic implications.
he gives you
It
a
does.
lift off and he just says goodbye. Apparently that's what happens.
That's right. One thing that I want to point out, I think a lot of people are intimidated by speedrunning an RPG. It's long, you have to memorize stuff. It's honest to God, this is one of the best games that you could speedrun as your first RPG. I will tell you, this game is a little bit buggy. It has some minor glitches. It's really important that you know that, just going in. Things sometimes don't work the way that you're going to expect them to. And that's okay. You can embrace that. It can be a lot of fun for you.
Why is Cyan/Cayenne killing himself? That seems
No, he's not.
unreasonable.
He's becoming very angry.
Oh, I see.
This is the game with the once in a blue moon rage moves, right?
Yeah.
Is that what we're up to?
No, we're just skipping a boss fight. That's all.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you skipped the entirety of the rest of that encounter. I
Yeah.
see.
How? What?
So this game does
I've-
have some glitches. I'm trying to be upfront with you. This game has a couple of things about it where it doesn't work the way that you expect it to.
I have been playing this game vanilla for like several
Mhm.
weeks, and
This
I
is
finally
vanilla.
hit like my breaking point with it. Yeah, I mean like with no knowledge, no glitches, like no brain to it. And I gotta tell you, this looks really good. That last fight that you managed to just not do is one that I was would be very excited to not have been forced to do.
Who you
Yeah,
got?
you can
Do you
just
want
skip it.
2, 1 that's upside down,
Yeah, this is the math
1,
room.
2 that's reversed?
Map room.
Who you got?
Everybody knows the math room.
Mhm.
Cool turtle in there.
Interesting.
And I want to emphasize again, this is all stuff anybody who's watching this, you could do this. And I want you to.
Anyone
I want you to
does.
speedrun
Everyone-
this game faster than I do. Because there's
Well-
nothing more fun than just deciding to go slantways in an RPG and say, I'm going to play it my own way.
Love the cinematic camera you have going on here.
Yeah, there's a couple of minor bugs that I'm taking advantage of.
I noticed that your main character was one of the Moogles from the start of the game.
Yeah, that's true.
And not, you know, Terra or something.
Yeah, that's Kutan from the start of the game. That's correct.
Okay.
I vaguely remember when something weird happens, all of the characters have a Moogle counterpart.
They do.
Like in the very beginning, there's an Edgar, but he's a Moogle,
Yep. You are
It-
completely correct.
and that's why they
There's
all have
also
all
like
those
a couple
weapons.
of. There's also like a couple of extra slots, right? Which is like the
Yeah, that's for Bannon and Leo.
Leo, yeah.
And also technically for Kefka.
Oh, right,
Wait,
because
Leo?
he shows
Like
up.
Elio?
Yeah, General Leo.
Yeah.
Also technically for Kefka, because Kefka uses a character sprite.
A character sprite
cutscenes.
in one of the fights.
In the
yeah.
fight cutscenes, yeah.
So this game is really interesting. There obviously I've been showing videos of ways that you can just bypass a lot of stuff. What we're doing here
Yeah,
is
I'm not
we've-
sure what's happening at this very second, given that we've just been in this.
So right
zone
now
in
we
Oz's
are. Hey, you know that really famous video about parallel universes? We are doing that right now.
Oh.
The character is moving very fast every single frame, slantways, and the reason that we're doing that is because we will eventually go from the world of balance to the world of ruin, and we will be in the. Hey, you know that dungeon, Wobbly, that you hated?
Yeah.
In Owzer's Mansion? Anyway, it's really good to get there because you can do more glitches there, it turns out.
I am
I like-
completely unsurprised.
I absolutely adore that you doing just moving diagonally kind of moves you in a completely different dimension that you're supposed to be able to go.
Yeah, it's great.
And
It's the
that's-
best thing ever.
This is
When you're in a world in which you like life is a 4-way gate, right? A square gate or whatever you want
Yeah.
to call it. You can only go in 4 directions. The wizard who goes in the unparalleled angles in the corners is the most powerful of them all.
So here, we're just going to skip to the end of the game. That was
Wait.
Celis, don't worry about it.
Wait, you just put nobody in a what? Huh?
Yeah, don't worry. That's Celis. She's still got her opera sprite for reasons. Wobbly, I'm telling you, you need to speedrun this game. You'll have so much fun with it.
I think I would.
So this is the
Also,
final
that's
dungeon.
the opera
I
timer
recognize that.
for
Yeah.
reasons.
Yeah, I recognize Kefka's Garbage Mountain.
Yep.
Mhm.
So Wobbly, I'm gonna be relatively quiet here. I've already given my spiel. I want everybody to speedrun this game, and I'm gonna do my best to teach them how. You were very frustrated with this dungeon, so
Deeply.
I'm gonna let you enjoy this.
I'm gonna savor this. So, just for like a little bit of context, like I got to the world of ruin. I've had a very difficult time. Like most of it is just status effects everywhere. Status effects.
Oh, I
And
don't
it's, like,
really have to deal
always
with
the-
many of those.
The ones where you like don't get to play, basically, right? So I'm interested in seeing like how you. Oh, you just leave. Oh, okay, all right.
Evil Oscar has no counter for smoke.
So all of these clowns are like immune to magic, which the game has been pushing you deeper and deeper and deeper into using to this juncture. So it is a very big rug pull when you actually get here. And the game is just like, hey, idiot, all of your most powerful stuff, jump out of a tree. Like, wait, what?
That's a tint. You've used tints. I've seen you buy them.
That's right.
I mean, I steal them. I hit the REI and they get very mad. Oh my god.
So something that I noticed, Tina, is that I could hear the closing and opening chests of Bowser's Mansion in the background still.
It's a door, but yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, is that
Yeah,
the
I did
door
I
that
did
auto
steal his door. It's still following me.
stole
Okay.
his door?
Yeah.
Oh. This is amazing.
And again, there are setups for all of this. This is not that hard of a game. Everybody who's watching, I want you to speedrun this game.
I mean, I've heard you say many of times that since you have the record is
It's
trash. So,
Correct, yes.
yeah.
How did Kefka befriend brontosauruses?
Magic.
Oh, you know.
Oh, hey, door. What's good? Wait, what?
Okay. So is that what it was? You stole the door so you could just walk through a wall?
That is one of the benefits of having the door on your side, yes.
I see. Okay.
Oh man, four-armed ninja can't even land choke smoke? What a chump.
So here, Wobbly, you will feel a little bit better because I do get status affected here.
Wait, hold on. This is one of the Warring Triad, and you just walked down some stairs, and you're doing this fight now.
Yes.
It's not even playing Battle with a Fierce Foe or whatever.
This is normal music.
This is.
I mean, it's
truly
certainly
something else.
normal Kefka's Tower music. Sure, yeah.
Why is this menu in like a plus shape? It's not. It's not supposed to be. Right?
You can set it to
you
that.
can set it to that, yeah.
All right.
Make so you can just
save
press
ones
a
of
button.
frames per menu if you have it set
Yeah.
that way.
Okay. The Figaro brothers have perished.
That's true. It's very
Is
sad.
that a good thing? I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
In fact, yes, that is a good thing. I did want them to die.
Oh,
they're,
thank
they're
goodness.
just bad leaders. Like which one of them's supposed
Because now
to be
that they've
good?
died, I can use a tent. And obviously, when you've all slept before, and then you wake up somewhere where that's not where you went to sleep. So anyway, I'm over here now.
Okay.
Oh, did it load the old position from the previous tent?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Holy cow. My god.
And I think Wobbly, you've finished the tower at this point, yeah?
No.
Oh, okay. So the big puzzle, minor spoiler, you need to get all of your parties standing on switches. All three of your parties must be standing on a switch.
All three of your parties must be standing on a switch.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is incredible. I love this.
Wait, do you have 4 parties? Hold
No.
on.
Graphical glitch. That is actually just a graphical glitch.
Okay, the extra lock isn't normally there. Got it.
No.
And this is like non-task stuff. This is just regular.
This is all me.
rotating about.
This is recorded live.
Okay, all
And
3
that's
of
how you
them
win
are
the
on
game.
a switch. Well, I mean, that's not all you have to do to win the game. I mean, there's
in this
still...
case it is. So I
Video complete.
I didn't bother showing the 5-minute long cutscene that you sit through. But because I had the opera timer, when that expires, you get a game over. But specifically, you get a game
Oh,
over in a way that
right.
pulls you out of whatever you're doing, shows you a cutscene to tell you how bad you are, and then it gives you the game over. Kefka's fight is programmed such that if you leave the fight for any reason whatsoever, it is programmed to assume that you have won the game and it rolls credits. Congratulations, you've saved the world.
So, that's what they do now. See, it used to be that Sabin threw a house on Kefka for
Yeah.
the same response, but I
Yes,
guess the
exactly.
threat has changed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, instead, you have Ultras drop a 4-ton weight on Kefka.
Okay.
I
yeah,
guess
makes
that'll
sense.
take anybody out.
Yeah.
Ultras has dethroned God.
I think I love the speed run. I gotta get into this.
It rules. It rules so much.
Final Fantasy
Hey,
6
everybody
speedrun
watching
is
this,
very funny.
please do the speed run. It's so much fun. I want more people running this game.
Well, thanks for joining us for Talking Pit. I think that's it.
Seems like that's it to me. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll host over to you, Doc, if you're starting up. Where you at?
I am not. I'm doing something else. I had an obligation at 9 that
Okay.
was not related to streaming. That's all.
Okay. Have a good one.
Yeah.
And thanks for joining me. Give everybody a follow,
Absolutely.
folks.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd
thanks for having me.
appreciate it.
See you later.